Hello, hello, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. We're finally able to spend time with Shoichi at the festival. Kind of excited, you know. When we reached the cooking club's room, there are quite a few people hanging around outside the door and chatting as if they were waiting for something. Shuichi took off his glasses before we left the student council room, which I found a bit of a pity. He looks pretty handsome in those. A single girl is sitting on a chair next to the door with an apron and a clipboard.
Hi, are you a member of the club?
The girl, a canine, smiles at us and nods, getting up from her seat. Yes, are you two here to sign up for our master class?
We are. Are there still any openings?
Only a few left for the class, starting in 10 minutes. We're cleaning the kitchen right now after the last class finished up.
That's great. How much is the cost?
It's 4,000 yen for the class. That covers the cost of materials, the cleaning after, etc. Will that be all right?
Sure, no problem.
Shuichi pulls out his wallet and fishes out two 2,000 yen bills. Hang on, you're not gonna pay for it all by yourself.
Why not? It's no big deal.
The girl happily takes the money that was offered and pulls it inside of a small fanny pack she was carrying under the apron. All right, may I take your names, please?
Shuichi Urata and Yuichi Michimiya.
Her smile widens and she nods at us energetically. Oh, the student council president. Thank you for dealing with our little issue with the chemistry club. It was driving us all insane.
I didn't really do anything. It was the whole team.
Regardless, thank you so much. It's gotten a lot more pleasant after those fumes stopped invading our kitchen. Now, if you two could please wait outside for a few minutes, you'll be called in shortly.
Thank you.
We leave the girl be and lean against the far wall of the corridor.
You really have to stop with this habit of trying to pay for everything. I didn't try to pay for everything. Besides, what's wrong with me treating you? You're constantly pushing June into letting you pay for his stuff.
Well, that's different.
Why?
Because he didn't try to change. Don't try to change the subject.
Wow, your skills with words rival that of the bards of your very moving speech indeed.
Shut up.
And thus commandeth mine liege.
Please don't try to imitate a bard's flowery speech now.
Mimicry. How Darth the slander this humble minstrel with thy foul lies.
I swear to God, I'm going to ditch you. Also, I'm half convinced most of the stuff you're saying is gibberish.
It could be. I don't really know. Hell, I'm not even sure what I was saying.
You're a dork.
Sure am.
Yuichi leans closer to me, putting a hand on my shoulder and whispering into my ear.
But I'm your dork, so you should get used to it.
I see. We're going to start with the next class. Will people please enter the room so I can call out your name? Once we're inside, I get a good look at the kitchen. I think the only time I've been here was when class rep borrowed the place so we could prepare her nasty concoctions during her pity for the festival. Her pitch, not pity. What am I? Oh my god. Pitch for the festival. All the pans are shiny and neatly stacked. Every kitchen island has a supply of fresh produce, meats, and all kinds of products are required for cooking. I'm surprised just how neat and organized this place is, considering they apparently have been hosting multiple classes during the day. Whoever their president is, they must run a pretty tight ship, so to speak. All right. I want every pair of oh, that's the instructor. All right. I want every pair to man an island. Every island is fully equipped with an apron, with an oven, a gas burner, and each counter space for a duo to work on. The instructor, a busty deer with a pair of round pink frame glasses, wearing a laced apron, standing in front of the class. Her own counter is flipped from ours so that she can access all of these features while looking at us. The lesson will last for 3 hours. During this time, you guys will learn to prepare a 3-course meal. Here are the dishes we'll teach you all to make. She wastes no time in bringing her explanations. Grabbing her chef's knife, she pulls out a whole chicken and begins to carve it as she speaks. First, we will work on our chicken. We will extract from it all the meats you'll need excuse me, for our appetizer and our entree. Gripping your knife like this, you'll make an incision here, and for what it's worth, she is very thorough in her explanation. She points out a few sheets on each of the counters containing the recipes we'll be preparing today. Shuichi and I both put on a couple aprons that are provided to us by the cooking club. Both are white aprons, very plain too. They don't have any flower patterns like the instructors.
Hey, you look pretty cute with that.
Heh, thanks. How about you get started on that chicken?
Me? Alright then.
I leave Shuichi with the task of carving the meat, mostly because I'll work on the other stuff in the meantime, and I doubt he can screw up carving a chicken's carcass. Let's see. Wow, these dishes sound fancy.
Yeah, what are we going to prepare?
Let's focus on the appetizer first. A wild mushroom and chicken breast ragout served on top of Italian bread toast.
Ragu? What's that?
I've never made it before, so I'm gonna be going into this blind too. It's supposedly a really thick sauce that's paired up with a pasta or bread.
That sounds pretty nice.
Oh, wait. According to the instructions, we're gonna have to make fresh pasta dough for the entree. Since that will need a few minutes to rest, I suppose I should get to it first. That means I'll have to leave Shuichi to do a bunch of other stuff while I prepare the dough. Excuse me. Okay, I'll leave you to carve the chicken and slice the mushrooms and vegetables. Just make sure you, stick to the recipe, okay? No fun little additions.
Oh, I was already thinking of ways I could spice this up and improve it.
Let's just stick with the recipes, okay? Besides, the ingredients were provided are measured for these exact recipes. If you try to change them, then then something will have to go without.
That's a fair point. I wouldn't want to ruin one recipe to make another one better.
I think you mean you'd ruin 2 recipes. I'll get to work on the pasta dough. Be careful with that knife.
No problem. Have you ever made pasta dough before, by the way?
Not really. This will be my first time.
Don't try to screw it up. Do try not to screw it up.
I don't want to hear that from you. Let's see. I need to measure out the ingredients here. Let me grab my second bottle of water. Yes, okay. Let's see. I need to measure out the ingredients here. It seems pretty simple. 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of other flour, and 2 eggs. Pretty basic. I'm surprised it doesn't call for any salt in the dough. I guess it's because it's already absorbs salt while cooking in the water.
By the way, what's the pasta dough for? Are we making spaghetti?
No, the entree is supposed to be chicken Alfredo. with squash ravioli. Huh, okay. Man, forming these is going to be a chore.
Chicken Alfredo with squash? We're just gonna be preparing Western food? I thought we'd do Japanese stuff.
I don't think people would pay for a masterclass where they learn to cook stuff they already eat at home every day.
Fair point.
I make a flour well inside the bowl and pour the two mixed eggs in the center, just like the recipe says. I don't think I've kneaded dough of any kind before, so I'm a bit wary of dunking my hands in there. I start off by mixing it with a wooden spoon until it forms a shaggy dough. When it gets too hard to keep mixing it like this, I give up and decide to go by hand. And the feeling of it sticking to my fingers is certainly weird. The instructor goes over everyone's counter, checking up on their progress and giving them tips on what to do. Good job. Don't be afraid to really get in there. Don't use your fingers so much. Use the bottom part of your palm to gently push the dough down and away from you. Like that. It's actually much harder to knead in that I thought it would be. It's not super difficult or anything, but for something made out of just flour and egg, I expected it to be soft like putty.
I'm gonna get started on the mushrooms now.
You've already carved the chicken?
It didn't take too long. It's mostly come apart on its own.
I take a look over at the station to see his progress and... That's, Instead of getting clean pieces of meat, he's completely mutilated and shredded the chicken. Fucking... how? Okay. Okay, Shoichi. Okay. There are even a few pieces of bone still protruding from the meat. How did you pay attention to her explanation? Look at your chicken. It looks nothing like hers.
I mean, I didn't see the point in spending so much time to get nice looking pieces when we're gonna shred them anyway to use in dishes.
The point is that you're supposed to be learning a skill here.
Huh, that's overrated. How often am I going to be carving a chicken in real life anyway?
Why did you ask me to come here with you if you have no intent to do things right?
By the way, what's the difference between a wild mushroom and a regular mushroom?
I wonder. I see he's obviously not even a bit interested in actually learning stuff. What if I told a really ridiculous lie about it? Would he buy it? Maybe. Oh, they're a special type of mushroom. When ingested, makes your hormones go all wild. They're said to be a great that word, and also boost energy levels.
Wow, really? So are they used to make? So are they used to make those markets, whatever that word is?
Oh yeah, the mushrooms are processed in factories and turned into liquid extract. And they add some of it into energy drinks too. It's why they're so good at keeping you energized.
Oh, wow, wait. You think that's why I always get a bit excited after my games? Because of the mushrooms?
It could be. Some people are more susceptible to the effects than others. And since your heart is running really fast for a long time during those, the chemicals might travel through your body much easier.
Oh, wow. Now it all makes sense.
Oh my god, I can't believe he's buying this. Shuichi, you're such a gullible dork, my god.
Duh, be careful with how much you put in there. It could be awkward if we're both walking around with, you know.
Don't worry, I'll be mindful of it.
Thanks. Alright, I need to get to chopping these.
Make sure you cut as much of the stem off
as you can. You can only really eat the cap. Really? That sounds like a waste. With most mushrooms, the stem is very chewy and fibrous. Fibrous? Not very tasty, and the texture is kind of bad. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't want that. I'll make sure to cut them. Oh, hey, your dough is looking pretty good. It's really round and kind of shiny.
While we were talking, I continued to knead the dough as best I could. It took me a while, but it managed to all come together into a cohesive ball of dough, which I'm really proud of. The recipe says to let it rest for 30 minutes before I can open it and fill it back up. In the meantime, I'm gonna start on the rug out, since you already finished up with the chicken and mushrooms.
Sure, feel free to. Just let me know what to do next.
Can you chop the onions, scallops, and garlic while I work on this?
Happy to.
I toss some butter and oil into the skillet. Mixing the mushrooms and making sure to saute them slowly. Mushrooms take a while to cook, or at least a regular supermarket variety. I don't know how long these take. Well, at least the good thing is that overcooking mushrooms is very difficult to do. I make sure to stir them constantly while adding a few knobs of butter so I can keep them from drying out. Once I think they are look about done, I add the shredded chicken, the minced garlic and shallots, some red wine vinegar, and some balsamic vinegar, as well as salt and pepper. Wow, that's a lot of cream that goes into this recipe. Together with the Alfredo, we're probably gonna have a heart attack from all this cream and butter. Look, I use a lot of butter when I cook. I'll admit, like, even when I'm just like when I'm sautéing shit, I sauté that shit in butter. But if I'm like frying up a steak, I cook that shit in butter. Like, it is what it is. I also make mashed potatoes a lot. Basically, it's anytime I'm making a Western style dish, I make mashed potatoes. If I make any kind of Eastern dish, yeah, we're making oh fuck, I can't talk right now. We're making some rice. We're just making some plain old rice. Make it simple, you know. Here's hoping we don't die from it.
Oh wow, that smells really good.
Yeah, I'm supposed to cook it down until it gets thick and creamy. Oh, can you cut the bread onto slices so I can toast in the oven?
Sure, I'll be done with the squash in a bit.
Things have been going much smoother than I thought they'd be. Shuichi's being really well behaved, all things considered. I thought for sure he'd be trying to sneak weird things into the food, but he hasn't so much as a peep about it the whole time. This is really nice. Cooking right next to him and working together. It's relaxing.
Wow, this bread is a bit stale. Stale.
Some people believe stale bread makes for better toast. I think they're both the same. As if the bread gets too stale when it just becomes unsalvageable.
Why does it get stale in the first place? Like, how does it work?
I'll tell the truth here. I don't know all the science behind it. For the most part, it just loses moisture as it ages, which causes it to become hard. By the way, hey, neat trick you can use to make bread good again. If only if it's only 1 or 2 days old, is to wet it all. What? Is to wet all of it just a little bit under the faucet, and then put it into the oven for about 10 or 15 minutes.
That actually works.
Yeah, it rehydrates the bread and softens it up at the same time as it becomes warmer. While you pull it out of the oven, it should be dry and steaming when you cut it. You'll just need to flip it over in the oven once or twice, but it definitely works.
Huh. I can use that in the future then. We throw a lot of bread out in the house because some days Dad just doesn't feel like eating it.
Yeah, it's a good way to get that steaming hot loaf of bread like it's just bought it from the bakery too.
Man, that does sound good. All right, I'm putting the slices in the oven. Hopefully it doesn't burn.
There's a timer right there on the top of the table. Just use that.
Oh, good idea.
Does he not time things? The ragout should be ready in a few minutes. Can you keep stirring this while I start working on filling the ravioli?
How come I'm only in charge of prepping and stirring stuff? I want to actually do some cooking too.
Oh, you do. That's, Uh-oh.
Come on. You're hogging all the fun parts. All the ingredients for the entrees are already prepped. I can cook it while you stir.
That's an idea.
Great, I'll get to work on it.
Wait, I didn't say I agreed to it.
Let's see. It says here to cook the squash in a separate pan until it softens. I can put that to boil on the side while I work on the rest. Huh, this Alfredo sauce thing doesn't sound very difficult.
Yeah, just remember you need to cook it until it's a bit thick, since it'll be used as filling. Oh, excuse me. I can't be too runny in that situation.
Huh, that's a fair point. Alrighty. I'll just cook the onions in the butter until they start getting golden.
I've mostly used breast meat for the ragout. Since the raviolis are the main dish, I thought they'd go better with the thigh meat. Just make sure to remove any all the pieces of bone once you shredded it, okay? Excuse me.
Don't worry about me so much. I've got this.
No, you don't. You have never given me any reason to believe you when you say that. In fact, you being confident about this just scares me even more because I'm afraid you're gonna mess up because you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Ugh, I suddenly feel a rumbling feeling on the pit of my stomach, and it's not nice. Shuichi diligently stirs and works on his skillet. Since I'm trying to pay attention to my ragout, I can't really keep an eye on him while he does that. I'll just pray nothing goes wrong.
Hey, I have a technical question.
Yeah, what is it?
How do I know when the onions and butter are done?
Wait, you're just stirring the onions and butter together?
Yeah, it said to stir until golden, but the butter kept turning browner, so I waited until it got golden.
I look over at the skillet, and it's a mess. Dear God, it smells weird. How did he manage to do that? It's way overcooked. You burnt the butter. Just put this in the sink and start again.
Whoa, really? I thought I was doing well.
Shuichi, if you're having questions, just ask the instructor. She's doing rounds and helping people, but she can't know you need help if you don't ask.
I didn't think I needed help.
I'm really gonna have to babysit him through this process, aren't I? At least if he manages to cook something edible, I'll already be happy. I think it's it'll be the first time ever. The prospect is pretty exciting for sure.
Alright, I'm gonna chop another onion, and I'll try this again.
This time remember, only the onion needs to turn golden, not the butter.
Got it. I'll try not to mess up again. Sorry.
I'm pretty much done with the ragout. I'm gonna get started on the dessert.
Oh yeah, what's the dessert supposed to be?
It says that it's supposed to be an apple-stuffed pastry turnover. Thank God they're providing us with the puff pastry, because that would be a bitch to make from scratch.
Is it really that bad?
I don't bake all that often, but I did see a few videos on pastries, and there were so many steps to make it, and making it, my head started to spin.
Yikes, not good. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to store-bought pastries for this. I just need to peel and chop the apple into chunks and then prepare a brown sugar syrup. Man, there is going to be so much food when we're done. Isn't this kind of the point? Food is good after all. Huh. I guess that's true. I'm looking forward to tasting it. Yeah, just keep your eye on what you're making. We don't need any more burnt butter. No shit. Yeah, he didn't even notice that his butter and onions were starting to get a bit overdone. Baby steps, I guess. Okay, I'm adding the other vegetables and the chicken now. Careful, don't just dunk his stuff into the skillet, otherwise some butter could splash off and scold you. Right. I think this is the first time ever he had someone supervising him while he cooks. His knife skills aren't the best, but he doesn't pay too much attention to what he's doing. And he doesn't pay attention, okay. But both of those things can be remedied. It's the unnecessary additions that fucks things over. Since he's not allowed to do that here, we should hopefully get something edible. And if not, well, he looks pretty cute when he's squirming, trying to not mess up stuff on the burner. I'm kind of getting the urge to tickle and tease him a little bit, but I'll avoid doing that while he's holding a hot pan. It's weird. When I think of it, we're dating now. Like, things haven't changed that much, but when I look at him now, I feel different than before. I'm not confused or conflicted over it anymore either. At this point, I'm pretty sure that I really do have feelings for him. Hell, he's such a dork. I want to kiss him so bad right now. Are you okay? You've been staring at me without doing anything for a few minutes. Oh, you're right. I was thinking of what I needed to prepare for the turnover. Isn't your syrup done yet? Let me check. Hopefully it's okay. Yikes. I was just giving him crap for not paying attention to his pots, too. Yeah, it's fine. It's at the perfect consistency, actually. I'm gonna drop my apple inside now with a bit of cinnamon. Recipe doesn't sound too complicated. It's not. The complicated part is stuffing the raviolis. We're gonna have to do them together. Sure. I work on chopping the apples down a bit while I open the puff pastry and cut into the shape of the turnover. After that, it's not all that difficult. This pastry is pretty nice to work with, and I can put them into I can put them together pretty easily. Okay, I'm gonna put these into the oven to bake. Did you actually get the toast out? Yeah, they're fine. I put them all neatly onto the on the parchment paper and inside a baking tray and slide it into the oven. Thanks to the toast, the oven is already preheated too, so that helps. I'm gonna open the pastry dough now. How's the filling going? I just added the cooked squash to it. Can you taste to make sure the seasoning is okay? Sure. Shushi grabs a spoonful and puts a bit of everything from the filling in it, hovering it over my mouth. In front of the mouth, okay. Ugh. I blow on it a few times, so as to not scold my tongue before eating it. A little bit more cheese would be nice. All right, I'll add it in. As soon as it melts and incorporates, we can get started on stuffing. Not so fast. You need to chill the filling a bit first. Otherwise, you'd cook the pasta before even putting it in the boiling water. Oh, that's true. We still have about an hour and 40 minutes. Excuse me. Choking on my spit again. That's fine, though. If I die that way, then there'll be audio evidence of it, and that'd be funny. To spare, so that gives us plenty of time to chill it while we plate our ragout toast. Just make sure to let the filling cool down before you put it in the freezer, in the fridge. Got it.
I feed the pastry as thinly as I can on the pasta roller. At one point, it starts to get really thin and delicate, and I need Shuichi's help handling it to avoid ripping. It's a bit of work to get it through, but it comes out fine. All right, just need to cut them into circles and cover them all with plastic film so it doesn't dry out.
Handling the pasta dough is kind of like playing around with Play-Doh.
You should have touched it when I was still kneading it. It really felt like playing with Play-Doh.
What's our yield in this recipe?
I don't know what the exact amount. Yield? What's our yield? Okay. We're cutting them sort of big, so they can't be that many. Still, we spread the dough so thin that it becomes quite long. We end up having to cut it into multiple sheets because it was getting too problematic to handle.
Let's get started on plating the appetizer. I can't wait to taste it.
Sure. Our toast is very dry, golden and crunchy, so it looks pretty nice. I try to put the ragout on top of it in a way that it doesn't look too messy. I sprinkle a bit of grated Parmesan cheese and firmly chopped herbs to garnish it.
This looks pretty good. It looks pretty tasty. Shall we call the instructor over to try?
Yeah, looks like a few of the other pairs are finishing plating their appetizers too.
The instructions were all made, so we should finish right about now anyway.
Yeah, but a few people are still lagging behind. My guess is those are the ones that either had a start over due to mistakes, or are just slower because they don't have much experience.
I also had to start over at some point, though.
Yeah, but you only... oh, excuse me. You only had to throw away butter and onions. Barely any time wasted with that.
Huh, fair enough.
I raise my hand, trying to get the attention of the instructor, so she can come over and try our dish. Oh, you boys are finished too. Let me try it out and see how you did. She uses a fork and knife to cut into a small piece, quickly putting it into her mouth. Immediately she smiles, nodding appreciatively to the two of us. This is very good. The seasoning is perfect, and it's very creamy. Good job. How are you doing on the other two? The turnovers are baking, and we're waiting for the ravioli filling to cool a bit before we can stuff them.
I kind of messed up the filling at first, but he had me fix it.
She nods, a smile still on her face. That's very good. One tip I'll give you is that if you didn't leave big chunks in the filling, you can use the piping bag to fill it more precisely and making less of a mess. Is that so? Shuichi, how chunky is the filling you made?
I think it could fit in the piping bag. I'm not too sure.
You can also fill it with regular spoons if you're not sure. It's just a tiny bit harder to be precise with it. Thanks, I appreciate the advice. She nods and walks away, and once again walks off to another duo station. I think I'm gonna end the part here. This is getting a little long, so I'll see you guys around.